Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff Moms Have Time For. Today I'm going to show you how to make these really cute macrame mason jars. You do not need too many supplies and you can do so much with this little project. So HEIDI SONBOUL asked us to try to create a summer or coastal DIY, and I will link her channel in my description box below, as well as the playlist for everybody who participated in this DIY. But I actually really love this, and I'm going to try to do a little bit more macrame in the future if I can figure out the more complex versions. But I am going to show you how to make this simple one today. You don't need too much, you just need a mason jar, some twine, and a pair of scissors. You're going to put a double loop around the edge of your mason jar and then create a knot, and then just cut off the excess ends. And then you're going to take 6 pieces of twine that are folded in half, that when folded in half are about 3 times the size of your mason jar. So you're going to take your string and then loop it through the rim you've created. And in order to create the pattern, we're going to do this 6 times. Don't tie the knots too tight at first because you want to make sure that all 6 knots are evenly spaced to create the best pattern. Once you have your 6 knots, then you can start actually creating your pattern, and you're going to take 1 string from each of your anchor points and tie them together. Because this is a small jar, I am going to make the spaces between the knots quite small because I want the pattern to emerge when I pull it tight. Then I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around the jar. Make sure that when you tie your knots, you pull them down to make sure they're level. You want the pattern to look as consistent throughout as possible. And then just work your way all the way around until that first layer is done. Once you have that first layer, you're going to start on your second one, and you're once again going to take the strings from opposite knots and tie it together. It should almost form a diamond shape in the center. And then you're going to work your way around the jar just like you did before, tying all those knots together. So right now I have about 4 layers of knots that I've created, and you could see the pattern over all of the jar. And the tighter you make the knots together, the smaller the pattern will be, so you can kind of decide what aesthetic you're going for. But because I want this to be a little bit more basket-like, I am going to do 1 more layer of knots. Once that is done, I am ready to tie all the ends together. You're going to take all the strings and then tie it in a tight knot at the bottom. And then you have a little tassel, and then just cut the excess strings off to make them all even. So I did do a second one, and I'm going to show you from up top what it looks like. It almost comes out looking like a flower when you tie all these knots. Now I am going to make a hanger for my little planter. That's what this one is going to be. And I'm going to just take 3 pieces of string, and then I'm going to put them in every other knot so that the hanging is even. Now you can really do whatever you want to do with these little hanging mason jars. I am going to use this one to be a succulent planter. I really do love hanging plants, and I thought that this would be a really cute way to do it. You can do more layers in the soil, or even a sandy layer, since succulents do really well in sand. I really think that these are adorable, and they're very rustic at the same time as beachy. The second one that I made is a lantern just with sand and a candle. I did not use a rope hanger for that. I went with a wire since it was an open flame. Outside, this was absolutely beautiful. I could see putting several of these outside and just enjoying a nice quiet evening outside. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe if you have not already. See you next time.